Episode 425. Tang Ru quickly felt the fatigue. Under this kind of extreme operation, in less than a minute, her fingers were already feeling the strain. Fatigue crept up her wrist and elbow, a relentless tide surging up her arm. How much longer could she hold on? Tang Ru didn't know, and she wasn't thinking about it. Her focus was entirely on her opponent. Even as she attacked at high speed, she was striving to maintain precision, hoping to land as many hits as possible. 1 minute passed, then 2, then 3, until 4 full minutes had gone by. The expressions of the pro players changed one by one. They realized that perhaps her APM wasn't the most terrifying thing about this female player. What was even more frightening was the sheer willpower it took to maintain that pace. She had maintained that insane APM for a full 4 minutes. Many of the pros were already asking themselves, if they had to push their own max APM, how long could they last? Even more terrifying, 4 minutes had passed, and she still hadn't stopped. The battle raged on at a blistering pace.
If she knew how to use her ultimate, she'd probably have won this match already.
Someone remarked.
Stainful. Not necessarily. For ultimate skills, the recovery frames are even bigger. With her flailing around like that, it's easy to whiff a big move. And if you whiff one, no amount of high APM can cancel the system-enforced recovery stun.
So, by sticking to low-level skills, she's actually getting the better deal.
It's just a shame that low-level skills have such low damage output, and her accuracy is really not that great either. At this rate, she'll need to hold out for at least 10 minutes to take Du Ming down like this.
10 minutes? That's impossible.
No one dared to jump to a conclusion. Tang Ru had already left them utterly astonished. Such a fierce will to win, yet displayed in such an inconsequential exhibition match. The sheer strength of spirit this person possessed, they felt, was beyond their comprehension. Another 2 minutes flashed by, and the battle mage's chaotic attacks still maintained their incredible breakneck speed.
How is that possible? Is this guy cheating?
Du Ming waited, second by second, his patience wearing thin. His Blade Master's health was more than halfway gone, yet the situation he was waiting for, his opponent's APM dropping from fatigue or a major opening appearing, never came. He could sense that his opponent was holding on with genuine determination. While she couldn't guarantee the accuracy of every strike, she was giving it her absolute all. Another hit landed. Over the past few minutes, the sound had become almost numbingly familiar to Du Ming. He was getting hit frequently, but only because the attacks were either low-level skills or basic strikes, their damage limited. That was the only reason he was still holding on. He wasn't overly tense about getting hit. He'd been trying his best to dodge all along. The occasional hit was just because his APM couldn't quite keep up. It was what it was. Who would have thought, just after one spear hit, another followed not long after? Du Ming was struck by Tang Ru's battle lance once more. For the next minute, the sound of impacts grew faster and more relentless. Du Ming's Blade Master was being hit again and again.
What's going on?
Du Ming was bewildered, and the pro players were equally lost.
Is his APM still climbing?
That was everyone's first thought.
No, he didn't.
Suddenly, a few of the more sharp-eyed observers had already pinpointed the real issue.
It's not that her APM increased, but that Du Ming slowed down.
That statement detonated, instantly spreading like wildfire among the pro players.
The players' attacks are chaotic, but if Du Ming had just stood there, he'd have been dead 10 times over. So he had to keep pushing himself to the absolute limit to dodge every single blow. If his opponent's attacks were fast, his dodges had to be even faster. High-intensity combat isn't a one-sided affair. It's a two-way street. While Du Ming's stamina consumption wasn't as high as his opponent's, he was the first to be affected by fatigue.
Just as everyone was wondering if Tang Ru could last 10 minutes, they now realized, to their surprise, that the one who was about to give out first was actually Du Ming. A relentless barrage of attacks hammered his Blade Master. Du Ming was initially bewildered, thinking his opponent had raised their APM again, but he soon realized the truth. His own APM was slowing down, and he could no longer keep up. And now his health bar had dropped into the red.
I'm going to lose.
Only now did Du Ming finally realize it. From start to finish, he never seriously considered the question. No matter how high his APM is, he's still just a greenhorn with no real experience. How could such a brute force approach possibly last until the end? This was the source of Du Ming's confidence. But he never imagined his opponent would actually hold on this long, persisting even after he himself had reached his limit.
Du Ming is going to lose. He lost it on his desire to win.
A sigh was heard, followed by a heavy silence. Without a doubt, in an exhibition match like this, professional players wouldn't have much of a desire to win. And when fighting ordinary players, they don't need that drive to win either. But for ordinary players, it's a different story. Defeating a pro player holds immense significance for them. Their desire to win is naturally far more intense. The desire to win fueled such tenacity. Yet Du Ming, in his overconfidence of certain victory, was the first to show signs of fatigue. The desire to win and APM, that was the gap between Du Ming and Tang Ru in this match. Now, he was completely pinned down by Tang Ru. Flustered, Du Ming couldn't rally his forces even when his Blade Master was in the red. Soon, his character fell beneath the battle mage's spear.